Dalystown House. Approaching Dalystown Mansion from the east by the Leitrim Gateway, you immediately find yourself in the racecourse centre. Here, in the 1940s, the annual Leitrim horse races were held, usually on or about the 4th of May. Racehorses and punters were escorted to the racecourse by a rousing rendering of martial airs by the Leitrim Marching Band. Today, it may be difficult to identify the vastness or extent of the actual racetrack, as it's now allotted in fields and extensively fenced. As you proceed 0.2 kilometres along the current avenue leading to the former manor, you find a narrow roadway leading directly southwards. Continuing along this narrow roadway, preferably on foot, you travel 140 yards towards rising ground. Then, on your right, you find Tubbercurry. Formerly, this well was a dedicated place of pilgrimage, reputed as a cure for inflamed throats. Even today, Tubbercurry is worth a visit, and it stands in a specially fenced area with cut stone structures and a spring well of excellent quality. Proceeding again westward to Dalystown House, you cross the Dalystown River with its famous locally known crossing as the Metal Bridge. Dalystown House, 3 stories over a basement, was built in the 17th century. In order that the Georgian Gem, as it was described by Pope O'Mahony of the Georgian Society, faced south when it was being built. All the farmers and tenant houses, which were visible from its elevated position, were levelled, and their occupants moved to a new, out-of-sight location to be known as Newtown Daly. To enhance the panoramic view from the mansion, an artificial lake was created at the foot of the front lawn, and there were uninterrupted views of parts of County Offaly as far as Shannon Bridge, the Slieve Blue Mountains and parts of North Tipperary. The accommodation comprised of 2 reception rooms and a dozen other apartments with servant quarters in the basement. All the internal doors were of solid mahogany with cut glass doorknobs, and in the library was a bossy fireplace, which was exhibited subsequent to the sale of the property in the 1950s in the antique show in Dublin's Mansion House, priced at $9,000. After the Dalystown estate lands had been divided in the 1940s and the house was being emptied for all its valuable building materials, the oak roof beams were found to have been formerly used as parts of ships, and under the slates was a quantity of lead which fetched over $6,000. Originally the property of the powerful Daly family of Dunsandle, a number of whom were mayors of Galway, the lands were largely forested with European larch, grown where Irish oak once flourished. The Dalystown forest was reckoned to be the second largest in all Ireland, and when it was eventually sold off, it took the firm who purchased it a full 21 years to fell all the trees. Some of the sales of tracts in the forest were so large that trees purchased averaged as low as 1 penny each. In the mid-19th century, Dalystown became the property of the O Farrell family. most of whose members were educated in Catholic schools in France. With the passage of time, the members of the O Farrell family died out, and the last one to form the estate before the Irish Land Commission acquired it was Charles O Farrell. He was survived by a brother Henry, known as Master Harry, who, although completely blind, could make his way around the house and gardens. The O'Farrell's predecessor in ownership was the Right Honourable Denis Daly, who, in addition to being a man of quite extraordinary size, requiring double-sized chairs and beds to accommodate him, he was a well-known racehorse owner. He was a great patron of the Curragh, and he and his wife Charlotte are buried in the tomb at Dalystown, about a half mile to the west of the mansion house. The Right Honourable Denis Daly of Dalystown was a Member of Parliament for County Galway and Privy Councillor in Ireland. He married in 1780 the daughter John Ponsonby, granddaughter of the first Earl of Bessborough. Although Daly in his prime bred and trained horses at Masonbrook to win classics at home and in Britain, his heavy gambling eventually led to his financial downfall, and he died shortly after being declared bankrupt on the 17th of December 1821. His wife had predeceased him by 20 years, and tradition has it that Daly was so grief-stricken that he had her remains embalmed and kept in a glass coffin in the main bedroom, which he visited every day for the remainder of his life. When he died, the remains of his wife and his own were buried side by side in the estate tomb at Crossbawn.